When my husband chose his parents over me, I took back the house in my life. Maya had always envisioned her life unfolding like a fairy tale, a perfect marriage, a loving home, and the kind of happiness that seemed endless. When she married Leo, she truly believed he was her soulmate, the person she would grow old with. Their love story had blossomed quickly, and within 2 years, they were married and building a life together. However, Maya soon learned that marriage wasn't just about love. It required standing together as partners, especially when external pressures mounted. For Maya, that pressure came in the form of Leo's overbearing parents. From the very beginning, Leo's parents, particularly his mother, Nora, had been overly involved in their lives. Maya dismissed their constant intrusions at first, assuming it was just because they were a close-knit family. But as time went on, it became clear that Leo's loyalty wasn't to her, it was to his parents, and that loyalty would ultimately destroy their marriage. Chapter 1. Dreams of a Perfect Home. Maya had been raised to be fiercely independent. She was the kind of woman who took pride in working hard and achieving her goals. From the moment she started her career in marketing, Maya had set aside money for her dream home. It wasn't just about owning property, it was about having a space that was truly hers, a place where she could feel safe and at peace. When Maya and Leo got engaged, she brought up the idea of buying a house. Leo was on board, excited at the prospect of having a place they could call their own. However, it was Maya who had the funds to make the dream a reality. She had saved for years, diligently putting away her earnings for the down payment. Leo contributed, but only minimally, as his job as a freelance photographer didn't bring in a consistent income. Still, Maya didn't mind. She loved him, and the idea of building a life together was more important to her than who paid for what. The house was everything Maya had ever wanted: a beautiful 3-bedroom home with large windows, a cozy backyard, and a spacious kitchen where she imagined cooking meals with Leo. They decorated it together, choosing furniture, colors, and art that reflected their personalities. For a while, everything felt perfect. But the perfection didn't last long. Chapter 2. The Shadow of His Parents. From the moment they moved in, Leo's parents made their presence felt. Nora, who had always been outspoken, began offering her opinions about every aspect of the house. "Why did you choose such dark paint for the living room? It makes the space feel so small," she commented the first time she visited. Maya brushed it off, laughing politely and reminding herself that Nora was just being helpful. But the comments didn't stop there. Nora had something to say about everything: the landscaping, the kitchen layout, even the way Maya arranged the furniture. It was as if she couldn't accept that the house wasn't hers. Leo, for his part, seemed oblivious to how these comments affected Maya. "She's just trying to help," he would say, shrugging it off. But to Maya, it felt like Nora was slowly encroaching on their lives. The real problems began when Nora and her husband, Stan, started spending more time at the house. What was supposed to be occasional visits turned into regular stays. Nora had a way of making herself at home, rearranging furniture, cleaning out closets, and even cooking meals without asking. While Maya appreciated the help at times, it felt like an invasion. This was supposed to be her sanctuary, a place where she and Leo could grow together as a couple. Instead, it was beginning to feel like his parents' house. Chapter 3. Tension Mounts. The tension between Maya and Leo grew with each passing month. Every time Maya tried to bring up her discomfort with his parents' over-involvement, Leo would brush her off. "They're just trying to help us. It's not a big deal," he'd say, dismissing her concerns. But to Maya, it was a big deal. She had paid for the house, worked tirelessly to build a life for them, and now it felt like she was losing control of her own home. The turning point came one evening when Nora casually mentioned that she and Stan were thinking of downsizing their own home. "We've been talking about it, and it just makes sense for us to move in here with you two. We're getting older, and we'd love to be close to you," she said, as if the decision had already been made. Maya was stunned. She glanced at Leo, expecting him to shut down the idea immediately, But to her horror, he seemed to be considering it. "It's not a bad idea, actually," he said thoughtfully. "They could help out with the house and save money. We'd all benefit." Maya couldn't believe what she was hearing. "Leo, this is our home. We didn't agree to this," she said, trying to keep her voice calm. But inside she was fuming. How could he even entertain the idea of his parents moving in without discussing it with her first? Nora smiled warmly, oblivious to the tension between Maya and Leo. "Think about it, dear. It would be so nice for us all to be together." Maya excused herself from the room, her hands shaking with anger. She felt like she was losing control of her own life, and Leo wasn't standing by her. Instead, he was aligning himself with his parents. Chapter 4. The Breaking Point. Over the next few weeks, things went from bad to worse. Leo's parents continued to treat the house as if it were theirs, and Leo seemed increasingly indifferent to Maya's feelings. Every time she tried to bring up her discomfort, he would brush her off or accuse her of being unreasonable. "Why do you hate my parents so much? They're just trying to help. Why can't you see that?" But Maya didn't hate his parents. She just wanted boundaries. She wanted to feel like she had a say in her own home, the home she had paid for. But Leo refused to see her side. He was blinded by his loyalty to his parents, and it became clear that he would never stand up to them. The final blow came one evening when Maya overheard a conversation between Leo and his parents. They were discussing moving in, again, without even consulting her. "We'll take the guest room," Nora said casually, as if it were already decided. Maya felt her heart drop. She couldn't do this anymore. She couldn't live in a marriage where her feelings were constantly disregarded. That night, after Leo's parents left, she confronted him. "Leo, this isn't working," she said, her voice trembling. "I can't live like this anymore. I can't keep feeling like I don't matter in my own marriage." Leo's face hardened. "You're being dramatic. They're my parents. If you can't accept that, maybe you're the one with the problem." Maya stared at him, her heart breaking. How had they come to this? How had the man she loved turned into someone who couldn't even see her pain? Chapter 5. The Divorce. The next morning, Maya made a decision. She couldn't continue living like this. She couldn't stay in a marriage where her husband chose his parents over her. It wasn't just about the house. It was about respect, about feeling valued, and Leo had made it clear where his loyalties lay. Maya contacted a divorce lawyer that afternoon. She explained the situation, and her lawyer assured her that she had a strong case. Even though Leo's name was on the deed, Maya had paid for the house, the down payment, the mortgage, everything. She had all the records to prove it. The divorce process was messy. Leo was furious when Maya told him she wanted to end the marriage. He accused her of being selfish, of trying to tear apart his family. But Maya stood her ground. She knew she deserved better. She deserved a partner who would stand by her, not one who would allow his parents to dictate their lives. Leo's parents, of course, sided with him. Nora even had the audacity to claim that she and Stan had contributed financially to the house, which was a complete lie. But Maya had the paperwork to prove otherwise. After months of legal battles, the court ruled in her favor. Leo was forced to move out, and Maya was granted full ownership of the house. Chapter 6. Reclaiming her life. In the weeks following the divorce, Maya felt a strange mix of emotions: relief, sadness, and empowerment. The house, which had once been a symbol of her love and commitment to Leo, now represented something entirely different. It was a reminder of her strength, of her ability to stand up for herself and take back control of her life. Maya spent the next few months redecorating the house, making it truly her own. She painted the walls a soft, calming blue, replaced the furniture that Nora had insisted on, and filled the space with items that brought her joy. It was no longer Leo's house, or his parents' house. It was hers. For the first time in years, Maya felt free. She no longer had to worry about someone else's approval or navigate the constant tension that had plagued her marriage. She was her own person again, and she was determined to live life on her own terms. Epilogue. A New Beginning. Months later, as Maya sat in her newly redecorated living room, she received a letter in the mail. It was from Leo. In the letter, he apologized for how things had ended. He admitted that he had allowed his parents to control too much of their lives, and that he regretted losing her. He asked if there was any chance they could reconcile. Maya read the letter carefully, her heart aching for the love they once shared. But she knew in her heart that it was too late. She had moved on, and she wasn't willing to go back to a relationship where she wasn't valued. She placed the letter in a drawer and stood up, walking through her beautiful, peaceful home. This house was her sanctuary now, a place where she had reclaimed her independence and rebuilt her life. And for the first time in a long time, she felt truly happy.